What's up, guys? Welcome to another one of my Friday evening Brews and Bets Draftkings edition um, plays here. I'll just go over a little bit. Last week I had a really good week. I probably was up about $1,400 for the week. I cashed out about 1,000, so left about 900 in the account. I have about 300 at play here. Most of it is in bets, though. I'm not playing a ton of DraftKings. We're back in Brett Apley's tournament this week. I'll just give you what I'm playing here. I'm playing Bobby626. I actually followed him on Twitter too. So Bobby, if you watch this, good luck to you, sir. But we're in Brett's tournament. We're in the head-to-head round. I had a bye last week, so I'm head-to-head with Bobby this week. And then I'm also in Cactus Jack's tournaments, the DFS Sniper. So for the most part, it was so tough making lineups this week because I feel like the two lineups I made, they could have been cash, they could have been GPP. I think the lineup I made with Ryan Hall in it is more GPP. But because there's just so much value, I feel like the cash and GPP lineups kind of intertwine. I think that you can play the cash stack. I think it's a little too the cash stack this week. If you stack the main event, is a little too what's the word? Too safe, maybe. I think that with all this value, you don't need the cash stack. I think that there's going to be a lot of people that are able to pick 5 and 6 winners this week in cash. To be honest with you, so I basically have like two cash lineups, but they're also GPP lineups. So I'll show you what I got here. So let me share my screen. And again, I'm in Jersey, so you'll notice that I have my DraftKings stuff up there. All right, so here we go. Let's go through this. I'll just give you my picks for this. I'll let you know if I'm betting it, but I'll give you my picks. Right now, I don't have a bet on it, but my pick here is Benito Lopez. Again, I like to watch the live weigh-ins. I also like to watch the official weigh-ins. So I'll watch both weigh-ins, the early morning and the official ones. And I was actually surprised that Benito Lopez is taller than Morales. Morales looks tall, but Lopez is bigger. And I like Lopez. I don't think I played him, but I wouldn't mind playing him in DraftKings. I only have two lineups this week again, as I said. Probably about, I think it's in total like $40, $50 invested. That's probably all I'm playing in DraftKings this week. This next fight, I like Sosa. I do understand why you would want to play Brianna if you think that she's going to be able to really dictate the terms of this fight, get those takedowns. By all means, play Brianna. But I'm on Sosa in this fight, and I just think she's going to be better, and I think she'll be able to use her BJJ when and if it does get to the ground. Then I think she's a better striker. This next fight, I am probably going to bet this fight. I haven't bet it yet, but Piguan Liu at minus 148, I think is a great price. I haven't bet it. Let me write it down though, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to make a play on that. He's much bigger. Sorry, just writing this down. He's much bigger than Jonathan Martinez. I do like Jonathan Martinez. My early build earlier in the week, Jonathan Martinez was actually in my lineup, but there's just so much value, and I'm not buying it. Lou is one of those Team Alpha Male guys, so he's going to be a local guy. So I kind of like Lou more than Martinez at this point. I think that Lou can actually finish this fight. Elkins and Ryan Hall. I don't think there's a way that you can play Darren Elkins. I would fade him in all formats. Ryan Hall, I think you play him in GPP. I actually played him in one of my GPP lineups. I actually said this to Tyler and CG as I was watching the weigh-ins. I just finished watching the weigh-ins maybe 40 minutes ago. Darren Elkins didn't look like he was walking well, walking up the stairs and walking on stage. I know he's a little awkward and maybe bow-legged, but he didn't look like he was walking well. And if he has anything going on with his legs, whether it be an injury of any magnitude, that's where Ryan Hall kind of attacks. He likes to roll around, try to attack your legs, get you in a leg lock, And just that Darren Elkins' legs are so stiff, they look so stiff. I think Ryan Hall's going to be able to do some damage. So I'm fading Elkins. Even if I was, I only have 2 lineups. I have no Elkins. But even if I was going to play either one of these guys, it would only be Ryan Hall. That's the only guy I'm even looking at playing. This next fight, Nico Montana is bigger than Juliana Pena, and I did not realize that. And for that reason, I think that Montana may be stronger in the clinch. Juliana Pena is 2.5 years, layoff here after a baby. I have no idea what we're going to get out of her. I think this fight's going to go to decision unless somebody gasses late and is able to get a finish. But I kind of like Nico Montana in this fight. I didn't earlier in the week. It was a stay away from me early in the week when we did Brews and Bets. And again, anybody who wants to hear me, CG, and Jason Bales go back and forth with breakdowns on all these fights and a more detailed breakdown. This will be quick. Can go back to that. But I didn't really give much because I didn't really like the fight. But now that I see the size difference from Nico Montana and I know what I think I'm going to see out of her, I don't think Juliana Pena is going to have an easy time getting Nico Montana down. And that was my one concern. So I think Montana's a better striker. Actually, I know she's a better striker. I actually like Montana in that fight. I still don't think I'm going to bet it, but in DraftKings, I don't mind playing it. This next fight, I'm on Shayman Moraes. I know, on Brews and Bets again, I mentioned that I do like these guys. These guys are the kind of guys on DraftKings that most DraftKings players like. Andre Fili and Shayman Moraes. And the reason that they like them is because they've always been valued for us. The last few times they've been on cards, there's been great value in picking these guys. They're also very safe plays for your cash lineup. You don't think they're going to get finished. Moraes has fought some very, very high level competition. Fili has too. And again, like a guy like Michael Johnson, the high level competition beats him. Shayman Moraes, I mean, he's losing to guys like Zabit. I mean, studs. I don't know. I'm all on Shayman Moraes, and not for nothing, but the stare down, and that guy looks vicious. So I do like Shayman Moraes. Michael Rodriguez, I'm all over. I have him in one of my lineups. John Allen, I don't think is a play at all. I wouldn't bet that. I'm on Vettori here, although I don't want to bet it, but I think Vettori's going to wind up beating Cesar Ferreira. I think he may be able to get a late finish or win the decision. I'm on Carl Roberson here, but I am concerned about this, and I feel like every podcast I've listened to all week has said the same thing. We said it on Brews and Bets earlier in the week. If Wellington Turman can get him down, can get Roberson down to the mat, I mean, who knows what's going to happen? It hasn't worked out well so far, so we're really not sure, what's happened there. This next fight, I really like both of these guys again, Josh Emmett and Rasad Bektik. I'm not going to bet it, but I do like Josh Emmett to win this fight. I really like Bektik's skills. It's just he keeps you in the fight, and that scares me. Uriah Faber and Ricky Simone. I have a parlay piece with Ricky Simone. I'm all over Ricky Simone. I'm a complete fade on Uriah Faber. So my parlay is Ricky Simone, Carl Roberson, and Michael Rodriguez. If I could do that over again, I would take out Carl Roberson. I would actually probably play Simone, Rodriguez, and Piquan Liu, to be honest with you. I really do like Piquan Liu at this point. And in the main event, I actually have a bet on JDR. I didn't early in the week when we did Brews and Bets. I probably put the bet in late the next day. So that would have been, I guess, yesterday. That would have been Thursday at some point. So I think I got Jermaine at plus 145, I believe. But then again, after what happened today with the weigh-ins, Aspen Ladd, basically shaking during the official weigh-ins this morning. That was pretty scary. So, yeah, she was cleared. No IV, obviously. She was cleared, and the medicals went through, so she was fine. So, with that being said, I put a bet in on JDR. So I think who's going to be in my DraftKings lineups too, based on that value. So now I'm over at DraftKings, and I'll just give you the guys that I did play. I ended up with nobody on my two. I only have 2 lineups again. I only have 2 lineups. I have nobody in this first fight, but I have no problem playing Benito Lopez um, if you're playing multiple lineups. I think Morales, you got to fade. I mean, if you just take a look at Morales's scores here, I mean, unless he gets a flash finish, which I just don't see happening, he's not going to score well. You know, it's really just strikes. He's not going to take this to the ground at all. So with that being said, I'm on Lopez if there's a play there. In this fight, it's basically a pick 'em fight, and I am on Souza. I have put Souza in a couple of my draft, actually one of my Draftkings lineups. Van Buren, my only concern with Van Buren is she can slow this fight down with her grappling and takedowns. I just don't see it. I think Souza's going to be better, and I think if it does get the ground, she's going to be able to risk some submissions and attack from that perspective. This next fight, Martinez and Biguan, I told you earlier in the week I was on Martinez. But yeah, after watching some tape and seeing the weigh-ins and seeing the size difference, Martinez really should be a 125er. Biguan is thick, taller. I think that he's going to be able to get the better of Jonathan Martinez in the clinch. Maybe even see a takedown from Biguan. I don't think he's had a takedown yet. Yeah, he has had one takedown against Stacey. I wish these scores were higher. I think he can finish this fight, to be honest with you, but I really wish that these two scores were higher. He actually did have that knockdown there, 2 advances. Yeah, I hope I get a higher score out of Piguan, but I do have him in one of my lineups. I guess the more GPP lineup. Elkins and Hall, I'm fading Elkins, and I am on Hall. He'll be in one of my lineups. Looking for that sub, and again, if you want to bet Hall, you might as well just bet Hall. I guess you could take Hall. It could be a decision. It's going to be Hall by decision, or it's going to be Hall by submission. One of the two. Next fight here, Pena Montano. I think Montano's the best price on the card at 7.2K. Again, against Modafferi, she had 158 points. I just don't see that happening again. That was a 5-rounder. So you can scale that back immediately. But I do see Montano as a nice play here against Pena. Casuals may see that big price at 158 and just play Montana. So she may be a little bit more popular than we all think. But I think this is more or less a 50-50 fight. You got two girls coming off a 2.5-year layoff and a baby. Montana's coming off possibly an injury, pulled out against Shevchenko. I probably said that name wrong. Pulled out of that fight to defend the title, the 125-pound title. She did beat Roxanne, but with all that being said, USADA violation. Who knows what we're going to see out of her? But I do like Montana in that place. Right here, Philly's at a price that you can play him. Unfortunately, I don't think he finishes Marias, and I think Marias actually has a chance to finish him here. I think it's going to be faster to the punch, and I don't think the ground game is really going to hurt Marias. This next fight, I'm all over Rodriguez. I think Rodriguez knocks out that one. So my more cash lineup, I have Rodriguez in that lineup. In this fight, I can see you wanting to play Ferreira for the submission upside. Especially in the GPP, there's no reason not to play him in a few lineups, maybe 20-30% at his price. But Vettori is the guy who I think is going to win this fight. I could see it being a late finish. I don't necessarily think it'll be an early finish, but I think Vettori needs to be motivated to push the pace, because as we've seen with Ferreira, and a lot of that has been grappling, which is why he's gassing. But he will gas. And again, I think Ferreira goes into these fights thinking that he can trade with these people. And then he quickly realizes, he's not on the same level in terms of power and precision with his strikes. So once the other guy hits him with some power, I mean, he's more or less done. And he fades. The power really does gas him. This fight here in GPPs, Terman is live. There's no reason not to play him in GPP. So if you're playing a lot of lineups, he can get the fight to the ground and submit Roberson. But if this fight does stay on the feet, Roberson's going to, at the very least, win a unanimous decision, striking victory, and he could get a finish. He could get a finish if this stays on the feet. There are some things out there, interviews and stuff, that Roberson, he's a Jersey guy too. He trains down with Frankie Edgar's crew. He's best friends with Corey Anderson. So with that being said, hopefully he's working on his takedown defense and submission defense. But I do like Roberson in that fight. But I think I actually pulled him out of my lineup that I had him in earlier in the week. Again, this fight, I can't wait to watch it. Bektik and Josh Emmett. I'm actually going to be over at in Newark at the Prudential Center. I'm covering a boxing card, Top Rank. It'll be on ESPN Plus, so I'm covering that card. Shakur Stevenson's in the main event. So with that being said, I'll probably be watching this from my laptop on press row. But Bektik and Emmett is a good fight, man. I'm really looking forward to that. Again, Emmett's from I think he's locally in Sacramento. I know he's a Team Alpha Male guy, but I think he actually lives in Sacramento also. So 7.4K, that's a great price for Emmett. GPPs, cash, playing everywhere. Faber and Simone, I'm fading Faber. I have Simone in both of my lineups. I have two lineups. I have him in both of my lineups. So Bobby, if you're listening to this, you got to make a decision. Are you playing Simone or not? Because I'm all in on Simone. The Randamie and Lad. This should not be priced the way that it is, right? That's obvious at this point. We said that on Brews and Bets earlier in the week. Jermaine the Randamie, I think is a great play. If you're playing a cash lineup, you have to put her in, especially with 5 rounds. But that being said, if you look at her prices aren't, her points aren't great. She actually had 70 points in a 5-round fight against Holm. That was the fight that I was at. UFC 208, which is where she won the 145-pound belt. An absolutely terrible fight. And then she beat up Rocky Pennington, and for the most part, it was a lot of grappling. She was able to get out of the grappling exchanges. But, I don't know. It was a tough fight to watch. I think she actually hit it on, yeah. Oh, no, she was the favorite there at 8.8. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at here. I have no problem with you playing Lad. I pulled Lad out of both of my lineups. I had her in one of my lineups, my earlier week lineup that changed a lot. I had Roberson, I had Lad, took them both out of it, and I wound up not playing Lad at all. I did have Roberson in one of my GPP lineups now. That's what I'm looking at for DraftKings. Anybody, if you want, you can hit me up on Twitter, DM me. There's a couple people each week that DM me. That's pretty cool. Getting some feedback from people, some good positive feedback. And if you have any questions, by all means, ask the questions. Underneath the messages in the group board, and I'll get back to you. All right, guys. Good luck. Best of luck this week. Eat clean, bro. My sponsor.